everyone. It is Lisa's Rambling Hour with Lisa, Season 4, Episode 3. And it is an indoor type of day. Been off and on raining, so I thought I'd stay in the cozy, warm house and do it from here. I've been swimming today, and so my hair is curly from swimming. And yeah, it's been a really good day and a good week. I hope everybody out there is good. I can see that I don't have any live viewers right now, so anybody watching this right now is somebody who's watched it after I've already finished, so I'll wait for a few people to sign on. I know Samantha's working today, and I believe Melody's home, my sister Melody, so she might be tuning in, and my mom is at home, so she might be tuning in. Yes, just like I said, it's been a good week, and I have lots to talk about, so I could get started now, and anybody who misses the first part will just have to watch it later and catch up. So, where to begin? I decided to get ready this week, because after I was done swimming, I put some gel in my hair, so it's sort of styled, as opposed to having my normal been in the garden all day look. And look, even under my fingernails are clean for a change. I mean, they're still short little fingernails because I'm a gardener. So, but they're clean, which is a change. And it's not even just from swimming. They were actually clean before I went swimming. So, all right. So let's talk about everything that's going on. So Monday I woke up, and then no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go by every day of what I've done. The kids are all good. Everybody's away from this room right now, so fizzy drinks make me, fizzy. Allison is at a friend's right now. Tom's in his room. He just got back from his grandparents for the weekend. And Aurora and Erica are upstairs in their room playing Xbox. So, and then Amy and Owen don't live at home. They have their own places, so they're out. And my love Steve is just going out with his mate, so everybody's got someone to hang out with, and I am hanging out with you guys. So guess what, I am 9 days away from it being 1 year since I started working out every day. So today is day there's 365 days in a year. Today is my 356th day working out in a row. So I am about 156, 157 pounds. So for those of you who do stones, that's 11 stone 2 pounds, 11 stone 3 pounds. And for those of you who do kilograms, it's between 71 and 72 kilograms. And I do not remember the last time that I was this small. I know it might not show exactly on the camera the way that it is, but I am just super happy with the way that I'm looking these days and how much work I've put in. So, and today I did my workout in the swimming pool. I made sure that it was 22 minutes of constant moving and working out, so that I didn't have to do my workout when I got home. As you can see, my roots are coming in, and they're a bit darker in some places, but there is a lot of white as well. And because I always have my hair back, the dark that's here gets the sun, so it's lighter. When I was a kid, my hair would go really light because we would be at the lake for the whole 2 months, so my hair would go light in the summertime, being outside every day. And then I would go back to school, and when my mom would French braid my hair, it looked really cool because all the underneath would be dark because it hadn't seen the sun, but I'd have this like streak of blonde for my braid, and people would always ask if I had dyed my hair, but I didn't start dyeing my hair until I was 14. I do want to do my roots, but I knew I was going swimming a couple times this week, so I didn't want the dye and the chlorine to turn my hair green because it's blonde. So so I will be doing my roots this week, but I think, like I said, this, even though it looks a bit darker back there, I still think that the blonde is a better camouflage when my roots are coming in, especially if I'm wearing my hair back in a ponytail, than having it dark and then the white comes in. Can't win. and I'm not ready to have my natural like white hair yet, because I think that makes me just a little bit look a little bit too old. I don't mind my crow's feet and other things that are showing that I'm aging, but the white hair is just not totally ready for that yet. So okay, well, yeah, so it's Sunday, August 8th, and I cannot believe, okay, so today I heard like Canadian geese flying overhead. For those of you who don't know, Canadian geese don't just live in Canada. We have them here as well. And there were some of them flying overhead, and it just made me like, oh my God, no, where's my summer going? It's not that time yet. I just need to let the dog out. She's gonna start whining. Give me 1 second. I just left the door open so she can come back in. So, all right. So let's just get on with it. I'm just gonna have a sip of my pop, and I'll start telling you guys everything that I need to tell you. Okay, so I think to kill time too, I'm gonna read this book that I told you guys about last week. Okay, so we did hear from the electrician, and he is wanting to do the work around our house and everything else, and we don't have a day scheduled for him to start yet, but I'm letting Steve take care of that. So the good news is that he has contacted us, and we will be getting the work done. The bad news is that it should have been started at least 3 weeks ago, and we're quite frustrated about that. So I think I'm going to pull you in a little bit, just because I like the ladder, but I don't like seeing the light. I like having a light in that corner, and I like having the ladder in that corner, but I don't like the way it looks right now. And there is a mirror up there, so maybe I'll turn a little bit this way and bring you in. I don't know if that'll cut that off, but anyways, yeah, I'm just gonna bring you closer to me, and then I'll tell you more about what's going on. Okay, so maybe I'll just, let's see, how shall I do this? Oh yeah, and because I want to read to you, I don't know if this is better for the story or not. Give me a momento. Oopsie. That's not what I meant to do. I do try to get this stuff sorted before, but I've had quite a busy day with, I know I was swimming, but I was actually dog sitting, and they have a swimming pool at their house, an indoor swimming pool. And so that was awesome and fun. And it's something I would strive for in life, to be able to afford to have an indoor swimming pool. I brought the girls with me. Like I said, Thomas was at his grandparents', and Steve had some stuff to do, so he didn't come. But so this is about being cozy, and I know it's still summertime, but it's just a rainy day, and sometimes you just need those snuggle days inside. So because Steve's gone out with his mates, it is get snuggly and time to read. All right, so I can read without my glasses, but I thought, oh, I should put my glasses on to make it look more like teacher-esque, but I'm not going to, because well, if you give me 1 moment, I'll grab them, because I did bring them in the house when I got home. And then I'll show you the book. I'm so happy that I did my workout in the swimming pool. Because so many times I leave my workouts on Sunday till when Steve leaves to play cards with his mates, and then after my live, I still have my workout to do, and now I got to just get cozy in bed and read my book, which the book that I'm reading for me is, oh, I just got to make sure I don't get the glare. Yes, I have, the dog's barking outside now. I have, what is it called? Like, I'm farsighted. Like, I need glasses. I can read without them, but I didn't even know I needed glasses. When I went, and this is a couple of years ago now, when I went, they did the whole, like, you know, everything else, and can you see that better, and then they told me that for reading, to have glasses, and like I said, I can read without them, but when I put them on, it's like, what I compare it to is like kind of like an old TV versus a new TV with sharp like picture, and you're like, whoa, I didn't even realize that my old TV didn't look that good until I got the new TV. So when I put on my glasses, I can read without them, but as soon as I put them on, everything looks that much more sharp, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know. So let's get going with the first book. So the book that I'm reading myself as an adult is called, oh yeah, I was looking for my phone, but it's right there. It's called, shoot, I've told you guys about it before and I've showed you the front of it, and it has to do with planning things for end of life and your death and your, if you're at the end of life. So I told you guys about it last week, and for some reason the title's not coming to me right now. But I told you guys about this last week. It's called Just Ask. And I ordered a copy of this for my sister and her, well, my niece and nephew, her and her husband's kids. But unfortunately something happened with Amazon and it didn't go through, so I need to reorder it. But this is the copy that I bought myself, and I was listening to a podcast and they talked about this. Actually, I think it was, so it's written by Sonia Sotomayor. I might be saying it wrong. Sotomayor. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, she's a politician in America. And then it says illustrated by RHwL Lopez. So each of us grows in our own way. I'm just going to check if there's, okay, so Sonia was born in the Bronx, New York. She earned a BA from Princeton University and a JD from Yale Law School. She served as an assistant district attorney in New York County and then as a litigator at Pavia and Harcourt. In 1991, President George H.W. Bush nominated her to the U.S. District Court, Southern District of New York. In 1997, President William Jefferson Clinton nominated her to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. President Barack Obama nominated her as an Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States on May 26, 2009, and she assumed this role August 8, 2009, becoming the first Latina to ever hold such a high position. She is the author of My Beloved World, Turning Pages, and The Beloved World of Sonia Sotomayor. So I'm going to read this, and I told you guys about it last week and what it was about. It is a children's book, but I'll read it to you guys. So if you want, because this is live right now, but it will be posted onto my Facebook after, so you will be able to share this and let your kids see this book and read it, and then you can always order your own copy if you would like. So I'm just gonna get right to the story. I don't know, there's a thing on the front, but I don't know if it's okay. I'll read this as well. So a letter to the readers. It says, I was born on June 25th, 1954, and in 1961, when I was 7 years old, I was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes. To take care of myself, I had to do things other kids did not. Sometimes I felt different. When kids saw me giving myself a needle shot of insulin, my medicine, I knew they were curious about what I was doing, but they never asked me. So for the kids that are watching, she had to take a needle and shoot herself, usually in the tummy, and push a needle into her tummy with medicine in it, and she needed that to keep her alive. So if you saw somebody doing that, you would wonder why they were putting a needle into themselves. So she says, so I knew people were curious about what I was doing, but they never asked me, my parents or my teachers, about it. I also often felt they thought I was doing something wrong. As I grew older, I realized that there are many ways to be, that I was not alone in feeling different. I wanted to write this book to explain how differences make us stronger in a good way. Like my experiences with diabetes, the challenges some kids face can be very hard and sometimes frustrating. Some of us have conditions that require medicines or tools to manage things that other kids never have to deal with. Some of our difficulties are not even visible to others, but they make us feel different, and we may do things that others don't understand. Yet all of these challenges often give us strength that others can't imagine. I hope by seeing yourself or your friends in this story, you will understand that we're all different, and you will find that notion comforting and empowering. I hope too that you will recognize what we have in common. Instead of fearing our differences or ignoring them, we can shed light on them and explore them together. If you ever wonder why someone is doing something different from other kids, just ask. Thank you, Emmanuel. He says that I'm looking absolutely beautiful, and good evening from Togo. So good evening from Middlewich. All right, so let's get to the story. I'm just going to take the paper cover off. Okay, so, all right, ready? Hi, I'm Sonia. My friends and I are planting a garden. Gardens are magical places. Thousands of plants bloom together, but every flower, every berry, and every leaf is different. Each has a different smell, different color, different shape, and different purpose. Some flowers need lots of sunlight. Others thrive in the shade. Some have to be trimmed regularly, while others are better off left alone. Some trees and flowers are more fragile, and others are more hardy. Kids are all different too. Some of us are in a hurry, and others take more time. Some of us seem shy and quiet, while others are chatty and loud. Some of our differences are easy to spot. Others take longer to notice. Each of us grows in our own way. So if you're curious about other kids, just ask. Not everyone is comfortable answering questions about themselves, but I don't mind. What am I doing several times a day? You see her with the needle right there, giving herself a shot in her arm. So it says, what am I doing? Several times a day, I prick my finger to measure the sugar in my blood, and I give myself shots of medicine called insulin. I do this because I have diabetes, and my body doesn't make insulin naturally like other people's. Even though this can sometimes hurt, I gather all of my courage to do it to be healthy. Do you ever need to take medicine to be healthy? I do. My name is RHwL, and I have asthma, which means I sometimes have trouble breathing. When that happens, I take a break and use my inhaler with medicine to make breathing easier. Quiet time helps me slow down and catch my breath. My inhaler is like a tool to help my body. Do you use a tool to help your body? I'm Anthony, and I use a wheelchair to get around. Even though I can't run with my legs, I can go super fast. How do you get from place to place? My name is Madison, and my guide dog, Lucky, helps me get places safely because I'm blind. My friend Ortero is blind too. He uses a cane to get around. Even though we can't see, we strengthen our other senses and notice lots of details others may miss. We can hear with our ears, smell with our noses, and feel with our hands. How do you use your senses? I'm VJ. I learn about the world differently because I can see, but I can't hear. I'm deaf. Most of the time I communicate with people using my face and hands through sign language. It's cool to know another language. I also love reading and writing. What about you? I'm Bianca, and I have dyslexia, so I have to work really hard and take my time when I am reading and writing words. Sometimes I use computer programs to help me. I love learning by doing things. My imagination is full of ideas, and I'm very good at making art from pictures I see in my mind. Are you really good at something? I'm great at dinosaurs. I know all about them. I'm Jordan, and I have autism. Organizing and counting all my toy dinosaurs again and again makes me feel calm. My classmate Tiana also has autism, but it's different for her. She doesn't talk, but I like to talk. I especially like to talk about dinosaurs. What do you like to talk about? For me, listening comes more easily than talking, and I'm a really good listener. My name is Anne, and I speak with a stutter, so I sometimes repeat a word or get stuck when I try to say it. It may take me a little longer to express myself, and sometimes I'm too shy to talk, but I understand everything that's going on. Do you ever wonder if people understand you? I do. My name is Julia. Sometimes I wiggle or make sounds that I can't control because I have Tourette's syndrome. People may look at me funny because they think I am not paying attention or just acting out, but it's not true. I am listening. I don't always like having to explain. It frustrates me, but it helps when I tell people that it's just what my body does. Do you ever feel frustrated? My name is Manuel, and I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It is also called ADHD. I can get frustrated when I really feel the need to move around, even though I'm supposed to sit still. When my teachers and friends are patient with me, if I forget something or get distracted, I can get myself back on track. What's helpful to you? I'm Nolan. It's helpful to me when the food I eat has a clear label that says it is nut-free, because I am allergic to nuts. They can make me so sick that I would have to go to the hospital if I ate any, even by accident. So I always tell people about my allergy, and I ask if any food has nut ingredients. Speaking up keeps me healthy. How do you use your voice? I love to sing and I love to talk. I love to make new friends and be included. I am Grace. I was born with Down syndrome. Kids like me with Down syndrome have an extra building block called a chromosome in our bodies. But we are all different from each other too. I can do almost anything any other kid can do, though learning new things can take some time. One way I learn is to ask questions. What helps you learn? It's me, Sonia again. I ask questions too. When something seems different or new, I just ask my parents or my teachers, and they help me to understand. Especially if my friends don't feel ready to explain. That is what I've learned. Imagine if all the plants in this garden were exactly the same. Like, what if we only could grow peas? That would mean no strawberries or cucumbers or carrots. It might also mean no trees or roses or sunflowers. Just like in our garden, all the ways we are different make our neighborhood, our whole world really, more interesting and fun. And just like all these plants, each of us has unique powers to share with the world and make it more interesting and richer. What will you do with your powers? And that is all. And so again, I'll tell you, for people who had just started watching, it's called Just Ask by Sonia Sotomayor and illustrated by RHwL Lopez. And you can I got it on Amazon, but I'm sure there's other places you can get it as well. Very good book. And I think it's going to help a lot of kids to feel inclusive. I mean, I know that when I was reading it, I could identify with a few of them, especially being loud and definitely not shy. But yeah, loud and I definitely ask questions. I know growing up, I have asked questions all the time because in my mind, I needed to understand how something worked. So a lot of times I would get in trouble or people would get frustrated with me thinking that I was being defiant or just like argumentative or like, oh, why do you need to do that? Or why do you do it that way? Or what if you do this? What do you do? And so I wasn't trying to argue or say that, oh, maybe this way is better. Or I just needed, and I mean, still like this, I need to understand why you're doing something the way that you're doing, like for it to make sense in my head. I'm getting better at like being like, okay, you know, if a boss asks me to do something, that I shouldn't question why he wants it done or how, or the way that he wants it done. But it is tough because, like I said, in my head, I am just used to like, well, that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't seem right. Like I need to understand. So, hello Mom and hello Caleb. I hope everybody is well and that you are enjoying your Sunday evening. Well, no, I guess it's afternoon in Alberta. It is evening here. It is after 8 p.m. here. So coming to you from the couch because it is a cloudy, rainy day outside today. It's not raining right now, but I wasn't taking the chance setting up outside and then having the rain pour down on me. I'm just gonna have a sip of my pop, and then I will continue to tell you about the things that I want to talk about. So, so coming up this week, no, not this week, on the 17th, I have my second COVID vaccination. And last week, Steve and Amy, his oldest daughter, went to the Friends Fest, and they enjoyed taking pictures on the sets and different things, so that was exciting. What else? There was something that, yes, I got together with Samantha and the girls, and we went swimming, and it was a really good visit, and I'm glad that I got to see her, and I wish we could spend more time together, but life gets in the way, and she has to work, and all that fun stuff. We both have kids, but that was a good visit. And then, yes, we got, like I said, we were dog sitting today, so we got to spend time with some puppies. Well, one's 7 years old and one's a puppy, and that was really fun and nice, and then swimming. So I don't have anything specific coming up this week. I hope the electrician will start the work soon. And the good news about that too is that I don't know if I said this last week, but I said that the amount of time we've been waiting for an electrician, I could have had my certificate already and been an electrician myself. And I was so frustrated that if we didn't get the electrician this time, then I was going to take my course. So like I said, the good news is that he's coming, and that I don't have to take my course to become an electrician. So what have you guys been up to in this last week? Anything exciting? Summertime? Traveling, if restrictions are like less tight where you are living, if you've been doing different things. I know that I just read a children's book, and I'm not sure when my sister Tina and her husband Ryan will show their kids, but I know that they're traveling right now and going around to some places for a week or two. So when they have the opportunity or need to occupy their children with something, they can show them this, and I've read that story. Samantha's working tonight, as I said before, so her children as well will not see this until another time, but that's okay. I think that I want to start including some different things, like reading things or inspiration and different things that I want to talk about when I do these lives, as well as I have some questions that I want to do when I have guests. And I'd really like to, because I listen to all these podcasts and I hear people interviewing other people and the things that make the different podcasts different depending on the subject matter. But there's so many people out there and so many things that I'm interested in that each week could be a different thing. Now, I have thought about the fact that it's a rambling hour and we could talk about anything. Is hard for me to make a plan and say that on this day we're going to be talking about this. But I listen to so many different podcasts now. Lately, a lot of the supernatural stuff. So if anybody has had any experiences with, say, what they perceive to be aliens or UFOs or even spirits or something unexplained, something that's happened to you in your life, even things like Yetis, Bigfoots, and the abominable snowman. I don't know if you would see that, but just different things that, or maybe in BC seeing Ogopogo in Lake Okanagan, or up here in Scotland seeing the Loch Ness Monster. Just things that have happened to you in life, or even just coincidences, or not coincidences if you don't believe that things aren't a coincidence, that's fate, or the other side, spirit guides and stuff influencing that. Any type of supernatural thing or something that you want to share with me. Now, if you want, you can send it to me in a message and I can talk and share your stories, but I don't have to say, I can keep you anonymous. But I would love to hear, because I know everybody, even if you don't believe in ghosts and aliens and all those things, everybody has some weird things that have happened to them in life. And if you want to have somebody to talk about it with, then I am your girl, because I am trustworthy. I won't tell anybody if you don't want me to tell your name, and I won't even tell anybody the story if you don't want me to tell. But if you're okay with me sharing, then it'll give me something to talk about on these. And maybe I will do different themes. But also when I interview people, I want to bring to light some of my favorite people who some of them have already been on and I've had on, but there's so many other people that I would love to introduce you guys to. And when I have them on, I want to ask them some questions about themselves and their different beliefs in life and what they do for a living and why, you know, why I think that they are an amazing person that people should know about. And yeah, so I am looking forward to having some guests in the next few weeks. So, and having a little bit more of a, again, it's the rambling hour, so I want to be able just to ramble and let our conversation go wherever it goes. But I might have a little bit more of a loose, not schedule, what's the word I'm looking for? Framework, like a loose framework of what the episode will entail. And then I want to start doing a few things that are like my regular bits that, you know, that I do. So yes, Lena is lying over there, and yes, life is good. I am just happy with everything. When I was talking about working out and the fact that today's day 356 for me working out in a row, and that I'm like lighter than I've been for a very long time. I know that it's almost a year that I've been working out, and I'm sure that I could have lost the weight faster than a year. But the thing is, it's not about losing the weight fast. It's about maintaining that weight. And so instead of working out 3 or 4 hours a day for a few months trying to get to some, you know, goal, which is great when you get there, but I wanted to do it as a regular thing. So doing my 25-minute workouts every day and then adding yoga on top of that or extra cardio or whatever else I want to do. But maintaining the 20 to 25 minutes a day is my focus, right? So as long as I do that, I know I'm good. And doing it consistently, and you don't even have to do it, you can do it 3 to 5 times a week. You don't have to do it every day like I'm doing, but yes, I'd rather be consistent with it and it be a lifelong life change, and then doing it for a few months, getting to a goal, and then like giving up or not doing it. So I'm really happy with where I am, and I'm happy to keep going in the right direction. And I hope everybody is inspired to do something different for yourself, even if it's just adding a little bit more water into your day, or choosing a healthier snack instead of the unhealthy snack, or having both, right? So instead of having a chocolate bar and a bag of crisps, chips, maybe you have a chocolate bar and an apple, you know, and just make small, I say that, and the TV's on in the background, and they're just showing all these, I think it's some kind of show about Cadbury's or chocolate bars throughout time. I don't know, I just keep seeing different chocolate bars on there. I really should shut the TV off. There's no sound on it right now, but I can see, it was Cadbury's before, and now I'm seeing an Arrow bar and some old man that looks like he's from the 70s doing a commercial, so makes me kind of want chocolate. But, oh, and Steve made this curry tonight for dinner. We weren't home, so he was home alone, like I said, and he made dinner for us. So he made just beautiful rice and this curry that it's not like a specific recipe. He made it himself, but when he was, because I need to reorganize the chest freezer and stuff. So if he asked me for ingredients, I could take them out and set them out or have them ready for him. But when he goes and looks for things, he's not going to necessarily be able to find them unless they're in the right places. And I've just been lazy and things aren't always in the right place. So he went to get some frozen veg, and he found some, we had these like frozen spinach balls. Yeah, so he thought about putting the spinach in the curry, and his best friend Stuart, who's Indian, put spinach in his curry, so he thought, nah, can't hurt. And it was a chicken curry, and it had spinach in it, and it was like really nice. And then it was on this fluffy rice, and he said that the trick to his rice was that he put in a half a cube of what do you call it, half stock cube in his, and while he cooked his rice, so it had flavor as well, and it was just fluffy, and it was such a good dinner. And then after a long day of swimming and everything, it was just really nice to come home and have that. So it was yeah, a really nice dinner. And as I've told you guys before, the fact that I reduced the size of my meals, it sounds like it would be like torture to eat less, but it's actually like been way more enjoyable, because even though, so say, like, you know, like I said, even a treat, like a chocolate bar, instead of having like a big chocolate bar, I might have like a quarter of it. And I know that when those bites are done, that's it. That's all I get. So I enjoy every little nibble and bite, and I really like savor, so it's very mindful eating. So even with my curry, I know I'm only gonna get so much, and then I have to say that's enough. I'm satisfied, you know, I'm not hungry, but I'm not over full where you feel sick. So I just enjoy every bite, and my eating experiences are so much more enjoyable now when I know I have my, you know, meal, snack, meal, snack, meal, snack every 2.5 to 3 hours. And I know that, you know, whether it's like a half a banana and some chicken with hot sauce as, you know, as one of my snacks, then I just savor the food so much more. The flavor is so much better, and I just appreciate it so much more. And I can't believe how much I was overeating in the past. And even making a difference like that without the exercise is going to change your lifestyle, let alone putting the exercise as well. So I'm really happy to be doing these lives, and I'm really happy when I see people like you watching them and enjoying them. And I mean, besides I can't say what each one of you gets from watching my lives, but I hope that you walk away from them feeling better, laughing, feeling inspired. I mean, I don't always make jokes, but sometimes I think I'm funny, and that you get something out of me doing these. And it must be, because I do get views every week. And I love that my family and friends can just see me, because you guys don't get to see me, and I don't get to be, you know, in Canada especially, I don't get to be there and go out for coffee with you guys and everything else. So not only do you get to see how I'm doing, you literally get to see me and my personality and how I'm doing. And I really am happy in life right now, and everything's good. You know, I spent so many years when I was younger complaining about the things I was unhappy about. Little did I know until I was 18 that I was diagnosed with depression. So it made sense why everything seemed like it was, you know, horrible in life. But I think I'm making up for that now. So I feel like, I mean, if I wasn't okay and I wasn't all right in life, I would tell you that as well. But I also think it's important to be grateful for what we have and when we are happy. And I'm still journaling every day. And one of the things in this journal that I'm using right now as my, you know, like I said before, I'm doing different journals to see how they are as my guide. And this one, you do the 3 things that you're most grateful for today. And so I do that every day. And one of my biggest things that I always write is that, you know, my home and garden and family and life in general, is that I'm really happy with the way things are. Things are good. And that doesn't mean everything's perfect. It means that I'm comfortable and I'm satisfied, and I'm working on it. And every day is a new day. And yes, so I go to bed happy. Oh, that's something that I have used in the past. And I mean, I still do it, but right now it's yes every day to my happiness. But what you do is, before you go to bed at night, ask yourself if you're happy. If you're answering yes more than no, then you're good. If you start answering no more often than you answer yes, then something in your life needs to change. You need to figure out what that is, whether it's whatever it is that's making you not happy when you go to bed at night. So it could be a relationship, it could be the house you live in, it could be the job you have, it could be the fact that you don't have enough income, or maybe it's not that you don't have enough income, but you're budgeting. It's shit to not have enough money to pay the bills. So don't get me wrong, but I also know that there was a lot of times in life that I said I was broke, but really I wasn't managing my money the way I should have. Because we don't need a lot in life. And of course, it's easy for me to say when I'm in a comfortable position now, but I've been there with nothing. And like I said, I mean, even the amount of food I eat now, I realize I don't eat a lot now compared to what I ate before. So even that, you know, doesn't have to cost as much as it was costing me in the past. Of course, more mouths to feed means more money, but I can see how wasteful I was in the past, and how even when I thought I was broke, I really wasn't, until my lowest point when I was like seriously scraping by. But at that time, I did not hesitate to use the food bank. I wasn't too proud, because I knew that that's what it was there for, and that I wasn't always needing it, and I wouldn't always need it. But at that time, I was a single mom with 3 kids and no money at all. And another thing that got us through that time was my mom worked for a school lunch program, and whatever food was left at the end of the day, they couldn't give to the kids to take home because of liability, you know, insurance and everything else. You in case anything, the kids got sick from it. So her and the other workers would get to take the food home. And so my mom would freeze the food that she would bring home from school, and my brother and his wife would be going to my mom's house once a month to bring their daughter at the time. I mean, she's 20 now, but at the time she went back once a month to see her biological dad. So my brother and his wife would pick up some of the frozen food from my mom and bring it to me, because I lived over by my brother and his wife 6 hours away from my mom's house. And we would fill our chest freezer, and we said grace every night, because we were so grateful for this food. Whether, it wasn't always some of the things were so good and we looked forward to some of those things, but some of the things were like not our favorites, but we were so grateful to have any food on our table at that time, because it really showed you how easy it is to not have anything and to go from that. I remember when I was pregnant with Allison, my biological oldest child, who will be 18 in January. When I was pregnant with her, I was really, really sick, and nobody knows what their pregnancies are going to be like. And at the time, I split up from her biological father, and so again, I was single and pregnant and really sick and couldn't work. What happened is we had moved. I was living up in Grand Prairie, which is like 4.5, 5 hours from Edmonton, and him and I had moved to Edmonton, and we were going to stay at my parents' house for a few weeks until we found a place to live, and then move out, together. But we split up, and so I ended up staying at my parents' house, and I was really sick, and I couldn't work, and I was basically on their couch, just sick, so sick. My pregnancies were horrible. I was exhausted and sick, and I couldn't work, and I kept telling them, I will get a job as soon as I can. I swear I will. I swear I will. And by the time I felt even a little bit better, I did go out, and I ended up getting 3 jobs because I needed to make the hours, which I think this is shit the way it is, but I'm still grateful that there is any type of compensation for maternity and parental leave. But I had to make up 600 hours so that employment insurance would be able to give me money for me to stay home with the baby for however long, 9 months. So I was really pregnant, worked 3 jobs just to make up my hours. But that was at about 6 months pregnant. That was when I finally felt even a little bit better to go out and get a job. And whilst I was sick and pregnant and single and broke and sleeping on my parents' couch. Well, no, I mean, I had a bedroom that I could sleep in at my parents' house, but I just was comfortable on the couch. And because I was like kind of bedridden, basically, I was on the couch for most of the day because I just couldn't do anything because I was that sick. But my point was that I realized that I was that close to being in a women's shelter, because if I didn't have my family and I was that sick and no money and everything else, what else would I have had to do but go to a women's shelter? Because I had nothing. I had nowhere. I didn't have a place to live. I didn't have any type of financial, and I didn't have any type of support for myself. Luckily, like I said, I had, siblings, and I have my parents, and I'm ever grateful for that. And luckily I did get back on my feet and everything else, but my other 2 pregnancies weren't any better health-wise. They were really, really hard. And actually my 3rd pregnancy, it just kept getting worse and worse. And my 3rd pregnancy was the worst of all of them. And I was so sick. And actually, when you look at pictures, the baby was healthy, but she sucked everything out of me. And when you look at the pictures, my cheeks, I was getting so thin, like just, but like I said, the baby was big, healthy, happy, and gaining, and I took my vitamins and everything else, but it was just a really, really hard pregnancy to get through. And at that time, I made the decision to never put my family or myself through that again. And that's when, at 29, when I had Erica, which she's just turned 13, so 13 years ago, I got my tubes tied at the same time, because I don't want to have to experience something like that again. Definitely not by choice. And but yeah, back to what I was saying is that none of us realize how close we are to living on the streets, living in a homeless shelter, or a women's shelter, or any of those things. So I have always said I never wanted to be rich without knowing what it was like to be poor. And I know what it's like to be poor now and broke and scraping by and eating whatever we got. So I'm ready to be rich. But And it's the same thing, like being overweight. And I mean, I was never like severely overweight where it was, you know, really bad for my health or something. But I was, you know, I wasn't healthy. Definitely wasn't healthy at a healthy weight or anything. So having that contrast, though, I appreciate this so much more. I didn't just get this. I mean, I had to work for this, but I can feel that my body's different. I can see that my body's different, and I'm so grateful for that. And I love, and one of the things that I write in my gratitude some of the days is that, I mean, I don't want to just repeat myself every day, even though I'm grateful for those things every day. But one of them is not just the fact that I'm working out and getting fit, but it's the fact that my body will let me, that I have the ability to do the workouts, that, you know, I'm not too sore or too injured or too unable to do the workout. So I'm grateful for the fact that I'm able to do physical things like work out in the garden and do all that kind of stuff for myself, and that I don't have to rely on other people to do physical things for me. So I just think it's very important to be grateful for what we do have, because everybody has different lives, and we all have shit. We all have things that we don't like in our lives or about ourselves, or, you know, our situations or whatever. But if we start taking inventory about the positives and things that we do have and what we do like, then we realize we have way more than we thought we did. So anywhere that I find myself in life, whether it was at, you know, I have to say that even at that poorest time in my life, being a single mom with 3 kids, we were happy. It was hard. It was hard, and we didn't have a lot. You know, but I was happy. The girls were happy. We made sure that we played and we enjoyed each other's company, and that we did the things that really mattered. And so anywhere that life takes me, I want to try and find the good. When you suffer from depression, especially when I was a teenager and stuff, it seemed that I had these, you know, like, instead of rose colored glasses on, I had, like, you know, shit colored glasses on, where everything I looked at is like, oh, that sucks, that's shit, that, you know, that's horrible, and nothing's okay. And so now I really have changed my life, where I'm not saying every day is not a struggle to, you know, I mean, I take medication, and that's okay, because that works for my body. And my type of depression is a chemical imbalance. So it's hereditary, and like I said, it's a chemical imbalance. And it is something that I've had my whole life and will have my whole life. So it's just that my body doesn't make that type of medicine. So I take the medicine, and it makes me, again, I do not get like super happy, like super like, oh my God, yay, this medicine's like working because I'm so happy. What the medicine does is, instead of being depressed, where the average person is here, it brings me to the average. So I still have shit days, I still have stress and everything else. It's not like I take antidepressants and I'm like up here where a normal person's here and I'm like super happy, the opposite of depression. No, it just brings me to a normal place. So it's up to me with journaling, with looking at the sunshine, with thinking about life and things, that is what makes me realize that life's not as bad. And I'm really glad that for anybody who knew me growing up and everything else, that the contrast is there, and that for all the days that I complained about things in life, that I'm making up for that by complaining about how good, I mean, not complaining, saying how good things are. And it's not in a braggadocious way. It's not like, ooh, look at me, look how great my life is, look at all the stuff I have. It's about saying, like, I'm so grateful for this, because at any moment this shit can all be taken away. It could all, my health, it could be taken away. Our home, it could be taken away. And I don't just mean like someone's gonna come and take our house. I mean, like, right now there's fires in Greece, wildfires in Greece. We know that there's wildfires in North America, Canada, and the States, because that happens every year. But yeah, so it could be a natural disaster that takes our home. It could be an illness like COVID that takes our family members away from us. Things can change in an instant. And so the things that you know what, sometimes I even write things like what I'm grateful for, like a washing machine and dryer. Do you know how much easier that makes my life if I had to do that stuff by hand? Or toilet paper. Not just the fact that we can go to the shop and buy it, but even that it was invented. So what else, some of the other things that I write, well, obviously technology. You guys know I say that all the time, how grateful I am for technology and the fact that I can do these or have video chats with my mom and feel like I can see her and have a relationship with her, even though we're like thousands of miles apart. yeah, there's so many little things that we don't even realize. What about a straw? I mean, I know that we're going from plastic straws into like reusable straws and everything else now, but I have to say, okay, so when we stopped using like disposable straws and they started making these paper straws, I hated it. I hated the way it felt in my mouth. I hated that the cardboard straws, like if you didn't drink your drink fast enough, they started disintegrating, and I did not like them. But then they made these stainless steel ones, and I love those stainless steel ones, even if you have to, you use the brush to clean them and everything. But I have them in my car. I have them in my handbag. I take them everywhere, because when I go through the drive-thru at McDonald's to get a soda pop, then I use one of those straws, and they just become so cold, and then I love them. They're so great. So from something that seemed shit, something even better came of it, and that makes me happy. So something that I'm grateful for is those straws. It seems so silly and little, but it makes me happy, and so Owen says, toilet paper. I would hate the hand-to-hand combat with the old chocolate starfish. Ugh! And yes, yes, whether it's a sponge on a stick, or, I mean, even a bidet, I don't understand. I just don't think squirting water would get it as clean as, I'm not saying that just toilet paper gets it super clean either. I mean, a combination might work, but, and I know there's disposable, flushable wipes, wet wipes and things like that too, but I know what it's like to do dishes and, taking food residue off of things and everything else. And you can't just take your plate to the sink, spray it down, and put it on the drain board like it's clean. Like, it needs some washing done to it as well, right? It doesn't take every food particle off just to spray it. So I don't think that a bidet is going to do the job. And so I am grateful for the options of different things. But don't use disposable wipes, like, even if they're flushable, because they're not good for the environment. They don't biodegrade. So until they make some that biodegrade like toilet paper does, then I would find another option. So yeah, we need to be grateful for the little things, even like eyeglasses, spectacles. I don't, like I said, I can read without mine, but how many of you out there need... Poor Owen, my stepson, who's watching right now. When we went to Canada, one of the most majestic places to look at and see, we were in the mountains, and some big grizzly bear came and stole his glasses. No, we went swimming, and we had everything piled up, and then when we went back to our clothes and everything, his glasses weren't there. So the whole time in the mountains, he had to, we'd be like, oh, wow, look at that. And he's like, yeah, that looks pretty good, and it's like, well, don't worry, Owen, you can see the photos after when you get a new set of glasses back home. But, yes, the things that we take for granted. Imagine just being appreciative that I have some clothes, because otherwise I would be doing this, this naked, and not everybody wants to see that. So, I got a comfy couch. I love this couch. And it's so comfy and soft, and this blanket is so comfy and soft, and I'm grateful that I have even a little bit of extra spending money to buy things like this, even especially if I can read them to my nieces and nephews and other people, and there's always things to be grateful for. Next, after my live, I'm going to go into my snuggly bed, and I'm going to read a book, and yeah, there's just always things to be grateful for. Oh, a toothbrush is a good one. I mean, you can use your finger, but I appreciate a toothbrush. Even if it is a wood one, that will biodegrade. I'm grateful for soda pop. You know what? Like, I think it's over a year ago now, maybe a couple years ago, there was a CO2 shortage, and I could live without pop, but I don't want to live without pop. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. And so, but even that, having a CO2 shortage showed me that something that I take for granted, being able to have all the time, like pop, could be taken away as well. So I am more grateful now that I know that it could be taken away at any time. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday and that they have some super good things planned for this week, because summer is fleeting and it is going to be gone before you know it. I've had time in the garden this week, and that makes me happy, and I'm trying to just really enjoy the garden, and I do some tinkering and deadheading, and actually I did redo a part of it, but mostly I'm just trying to be out there and enjoy it. instead of always, sometimes I work so hard in the garden that I fail to sit down and just look around and appreciate it. So this year I'm trying to do that more. Like I said, enjoy the plants that I have instead of buying or planting more or growing more, and enjoying what I have and giving them their best life and appreciating each one of them for why I bought them, and taking care of them and loving them. So yes, I have had a fun time in the garden this week, and I hope to have more time in the garden this upcoming week. But as most weeks and days go, I have to do some stuff in the office. I have paperwork that needs to be done. But like, again, this is life. Everybody has. Life is about maintenance, right? So you just keep going in circles, but doing it, cleaning each room. And by the time you get to the last room, you got to start in the first room again. So it's like that with other stuff too, right? One day gardening, one day in the office doing work, one day cleaning the house, one day spending time with family, and then you just keep doing it over and over and over. And Mom says, "Good one, Owen," with the old chocolate starfish. It's gross. I better not put my tongue out when I say that. It sounds like I want to lick it. I keep looking at my glasses, and honestly, it just looks like darker here or something. It looks a bit 70s weirdo. Owen, what movie did we watch yesterday? Oh, Fatherhood with Kevin Hart, and it was really good. It was really good. I cried, and it was very emotional. It was very real, the movie, but it was also funny and entertaining, and it was a really good movie. So I suggest Fatherhood with Kevin Hart. But and the reason I said that for you is that one of his best friends in the movie has these really cool round copper framed glasses, and they're almost a little bit steampunky, and I thought of you the whole time I was watching it. I'm like, I think Owen would love those glasses, and that they would look really good on him. So you should watch the movie because it's a good movie, but also look at those glasses and see what you think of them. So we are coming to the end of my rambling hour for today. I am definitely gonna have a guest next Sunday. I say that without having anybody booked, but have the plans to have a guest. So I like the fact that I'm doing, ones with guests and without, and I'm really going to make the most of those. When it's a guest, I am going to make sure that it's about the guest and about why I'm having them as a guest and everything else. And when I do ones like this without a guest, then I definitely want to make it where there's things for us to talk about and discuss that don't require a guest. So I really hope that you guys had a good rambling hour with me. I know I have been back to my usual, I guess maybe just doing your hair and feeling good about yourself does make a difference. Maybe I should do it more often than just coming in out of the garden. I mean, I love being in the garden, but I'm not my best self if I just flop on a chair and straight out of the garden and do my lives. But I have had a really good rambling hour with you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. Feel free to rewind it or screen capture the part where I'm reading the book and share it with other children, or order your own copy, because it's a really good book, and it's very important to appreciate our differences and be inclusive and include everybody, and know that we're different, but in the way we're all human. We're all one race, the human race, and we're in this together. So, love what you have, and don't take things for granted. Think about your 3, before you go to bed tonight, ask yourself if you're happy, and think about 3 things that you're grateful for today. All right? And even if it's little things like straws and toilet paper, those are very important things if you think about life without them. I love you too, Mommy, and I love all of you guys, and thank you for joining me, and we will see you next week for Season 4, Episode 4. Well, that's 8. So, Season 4, Episode 4. That'll work. All right, take care, love you guys, and have a great Sunday, and have a great week coming up, and think about some of those things that I asked you about too. Any weird, crazy, alien, UFO, ghosts, Yeti, Bigfoot, what are the man dog, there's the, what are they called, skinwalkers, like any kind of weird things that happen to you guys, If you want to share those stories with me, message me. And like I said, I can share them if you want, and I can also keep them anonymous, or I don't have to share them at all if you don't want anybody to know, but I would still love to hear them. The other thing that I'm looking for is, I was thinking of, I want to do a collaboration. I was thinking of putting together a collaboration, and this might have been done already, but this is my own. If I collect my own, then it's a different one than anybody else has put out. And what I want it to be is called Happy Deaths, basically. And what it is just, I told you guys a few weeks ago about my friend Margaret Rose, who passed away, and how she had been sick for a long time, but at the time of her passing, the way she passed, with the sunshine on her and a friend holding her hand and everything, it was a beautiful death. If you had to go, it was a beautiful way to go. And so I want to make like a Chicken Soup for the Soul type book of just beautiful death experiences. I have a few more that that I already know about that I would like to include in it, and I'm going to get those people who they happen to write them out in detail, so that I can, if they are willing to let me, again, even if anonymously, include them in the book. So if anybody has any just beautiful death stories of someone who has passed away, and again, obviously death is very sad and we miss the people who pass away a lot, but if the experience at the end of life was something that was meaningful or beautiful in a way, I would like to make this book of these stories, because to help other people who are having to face the end of life, whether it's themselves or someone they love, and maybe it'll help them through it. So yes, that's another thing you can send me in messages. Otherwise, have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Love you guys. Bye.